Jets question, do you think Jermaine Johnson starts? The return of Carl Lawson, the consistency of John Franklin Myers makes me think otherwise, unless they play him at 3-tech. This is a great question, Nolan. As I'm really starting to learn about the Jets, starting covering them and everything, I will say this. I think Jermaine Johnson is very, very impressive on film, and he's going to be somebody that I think they play the slow approach with. That's why he's the third pick in the first round that they got. He was later on, and he did fall. I'm not saying he's raw, but I agree in the sense you got Carl Lawson and you got John Franklin Myers, who I actually believe is their best player now. He had 53 pressures last year, led the team in pressures. I think Lawson is going to be so huge because they didn't have him last year because of the injury. So having Lawson back, Jermaine Johnson was a guy where if they want to kind of move, like you're saying, if they want to kind of move Myers into the 3-tech, then I could totally see Jermaine Johnson starting. But I don't think they're going to rush it on him. I think he's going to be like a rotational pass rusher early on in his career and then kind of work on that, That's what I would say, but that's a great question, because I could see them. I mean, if he balls out in training camp and preseason, maybe he even gets a nod. But, it's really interesting with the Jets because when you look at the Jets roster, they have a lot of bodies, on the defensive line, and pass rusher, edge defender, whatever you want to call it, outside linebacker, they have some guys as well, but it really, really depends on where they're going to play John Franklin Myers. That's where I'm trying to, that's what I'm trying to figure out, because that's where it all depends on. Like you said, if they play him at the 3-tech, then you could see Jermaine, but I mean, I'm looking at my notes now. The way I had it, let's see. I mean, it's really interesting because Vinny Curry's back, who had the blood disorder. So Vinny Curry's back, and he could have a better role this year, Bryce Huff, Jacob Martin, they signed. So I mean, they got some guys. Clemens as well, draft pick. Zuniga and Anai. I don't know if those guys will necessarily make the team, but Quinnen Williams, obviously, we know he'll play defensive tackle. He'll start. But it's they brought back Nathan Shepard. They still have Tanzel Smart. They have Vinny Curry, Jonathan Marshall, Solomon Thomas they signed, who of course has familiarity with, Robert Saleh. And then they have Sheldon Rankins, who just is not very good. Rankins is a big name that isn't the level. He isn't at the level of the big name that he gets. And I'm not trying to hate on the guy. I'm just being honest. He really wasn't that great last year. And you could tell the people that did not watch the tape think he's going to be really good. So yeah, it really depends on where they play John Franklin Myers. But Jermaine Johnson is 100% next in line, in my opinion. I do like Jacob Martin, and Bryce Huff is solid, but Jermaine Johnson offers more, I think, right off the rip than those guys. So, again, really good question there, but I would tend to lean towards, if Franklin Myers plays 3-tech, Jermaine Johnson starts. If he does not play a 3-tech, and he lines up a defensive end like Lawson, then Jermaine Johnson's going to be a rotational guy. Maybe even come in on third down, things like that. But yeah, I think they'll be slow with him. But it all depends on John Franklin Myers, where they play him. He can do it all, man. He really can. And he's just scratching the surface, as scary as that sounds.